Hi everyone, I'm Meghna, founder of Let's Curate. Welcome to our webcast where we feature creative talent from all over the world. Today we're showcasing another artisan from a special limited edition collection. As you know, these collections are exclusive only to our platform and not available anywhere else. Today is especially special for me because our guest today is our very first artisan from Australia and also the very first artisan that we've showcased who specializes in felted fiber creations. I'd not even heard of this before I met this wonderful woman, Dianne Conroy. So happy to have you on our webcast today. A huge welcome for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to be here as well. It's so lovely to be down here in Australia and be connecting with people in New York and all over the world, probably looking at the website. So yes, I'm very excited to be here too.
So I want to tell our viewers that you have created these spectacular custom, almost lifelike animal models made of wool and fiber fill. And you're going to tell us more about this during the webcast. But before we get to, the most exciting part for the webcast is always, when I showcase, our artisans' creations. But I first always like to dig in a little deeper. And I would love to know more about your background. Were there any artistic inspirations growing up? Because this is an unusual field to kind of delve into.
Well, I did have very artistic parents, and my grandmother was a wedding dressmaker. So when I was a little girl, I would spend a lot of time with her, and she taught me how to do a lot of fine detail when she was making wedding dresses. My mother is also very creative and has, when I was a child, she had a market stall in Sydney markets where she made clowns at Christmas. And at that time, every year we would work, we were three daughters and my mother, and we would work towards maybe 100 clowns with all different faces. So that was a really big inspiration for me because we would create them and we would have so much fun, my sisters and I and my mum. And my father also, he had a sign writing business. Mm-hmm. So, excuse me, he was very creative as well. But on the side, he actually worked as a potter, and he had a pottery wheel, and he would also sell his bowls and everything. So I was often down with him doing pottery. So we would, so in my childhood, there was a lot of different mediums that we were using, and my aunts as well. Everybody was always into making things. So I grew up doing that, and I've always sought work that was creative. So that was my inspiration from my childhood.
That's wonderful. It always plays such an important role. I felt, I've spoken to so many artisans, and we now represent 28 artisans, including you, on our platform. And there's always this one influence, and somehow it always stems from what you are exposed to as a child. So that's interesting to know that you had an entire family or like an entire group of people around you that you grew up with who was so creative. But I'm curious to know why and how did you come upon the felted fiber, option as a medium? That's an unusual one. I'd not heard of that before I, kind of came in contact with your work.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I was living in Tokyo. I lived there for 16 years. And at that time, I had a business making quilts and wall hangings from antique Japanese kimonos. So I was always around at all the quilt shows, and the Japanese are fabulous, as everybody knows, in fine detail and that. So when I was at a show at one point, there was a Japanese lady there giving a workshop in needle felting this little bunny rabbit. And I thought, I've never seen that before. So I sat down, did the workshop, and then I got her flyer. I started going to her classes and studying under her. And it was lucky. She was actually one of the most well-qualified needle felters in the whole of Japan. So I was really lucky to stumble across her that day. My husband's a New Zealander, so we were back and forth to New Zealand all the time in Tokyo. So then that opened my eyes up to all the wonderful wools and everything in the South Island of New Zealand, because we'd go on these techie tours all around with the children and there'd be wool shops everywhere and all this creative stuff, and I was drawn to it because of that. So that's how I really got into needle felting, was from this Japanese lady. And then my love of going to New Zealand and collecting all the wools, which then now I'm in Australia, you know, I've been doing that. So that's really how I started with the needle felting, and then with all the different arrays of wools that I work with now.
I see.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have created 2 spectacular custom lifelike animal. You know, I don't even know how to explain it because it's such a fabulous creation. So I want to show our viewers kind of like a teaser of what we're actually going to showcase on the platform. And I would love to for you to take us through the process and the materials you've used, you know, the inspiration, all of that. So the very first one, I'm doing my favorite one first. This magnificent, I mean, that's the only word that can describe this magnificent. I mean, this does not, you know, does not feel like it's artificial. It almost feels like it's real. Tell me about this, Dianne.
Yeah. Well, that's, yeah, that came from an inspiration of actually a taxidermied shop in the South Island of New Zealand that I've always been fascinated with them, although I don't like the fact that they use real animals. Right. So my husband, he's always joking about getting one. And I said to him, well, I'm going to make you one. So in his wine cellar downstairs here, I've made this, a bull for him. And then I thought, oh, I could make something else. And I love lions. And so then I started tampering in with, so I call myself like a modern day taxidermist. Okay. You know, so this is what we should be inspired. We can have these beautiful animals hanging on our walls, but we don't have to kill them. Yeah. No. So, yeah, so that's how I started making that. So would you like to see? I could show you absolutely. A little bit of just here. These are the tools that I use. Wow. So I work down here with on my pad with my wools. Around here we've got different dogs I'm making, but these are Corriedale wools, merino wools, and then just different colours I use. Over here is the beginning of something else I'm making. And here's the line here, but I just thought I'd show you these fabulous alpacas that I use to mix in with the wools. Yeah. Oh, okay. Wonderful. So could you see that?
I could. Can you tell me, so what materials have you specifically used for this particular creation?
So he's got the Corriedale wools in him, which are here.
Okay.
And he's also got a lot of these alpaca wools here.
I see. I see.
Yes.
So gorgeous. And then there's this other creation, which, you know, I'm from New York. We New Yorkers love our pet dogs. We love them. So this, you know, I mean, if anyone sees this cutie, I don't know how they can resist this. This is so cute. When I saw this, I fell in love right away. Tell me about this one, Dianne. So cute. I cannot get over it.
Well, I started making dogs for friends who had lost their dog and were just in so much grief. So then it just snowballed into different dogs. So first of all, here he is here, but I'll let you know just a little bit about him. I start with an armature like that. Can you see that armature there?
Yes.
And then I move into what we call a core wool, and I cover him. This is a basset hound I'm making at the moment for somebody. So then once I've got I'm happy with the complete shape of it, then I'll start adding all the merinos and Corriedale wools. Okay. And different. I use wool from the store, as long as it's 100% wool, but not very often. You know, because it's hard to get the colours. I dye my own wools as well to get particular colours that I want. You know, for this little corgi here. Look at his little.
Oh, cute.
Isn't that the cutest thing? I had to dye all that wool to get the right colour that I wanted. So, yeah, so this little fella here, are very popular at the moment. And I hand knitted his little scarf since he's going off to New York, because I thought it's quite cold over there.
You're so right. We're just about to enter the cold season, so he's perfect for the city.
Yes, he's got quite a bit of character in his face there, hasn't he? Takes me about 4 or 5 hours just to do the face.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
So how long did it take you to make the lion?
Oh gosh, yes, there's quite a bit. Probably, yeah, it's hard to say because I don't do 9 to 5. You know, I'll go in and do an hour and then I'll, you know, so I'm working. But I would say between 40 and 50 hours minimum.
Wow. I'm actually not surprised because I mean, just I'm going to do a close up. I mean, the details are just amazing. This is like
Yes,
the you know, the details near the nose, the snout, like this where you can see how you see the different variations in shades of brown. It's spectacular.
yes.
So I'm not surprised at all. This is hard work, but it's yes, the
mane
yes
is all dreadlocked. So
wow.
I have to dreadlock all different types of alpaca and corridals together, different colors, and then I actually crochet them into so the dreadlocks are quite a bit of work as well as once I get and also getting the shape right, because as you could see, it started off as a kind of then I've got to I have a needle about that long where I pull wool in to pull all the face in, and so that's quite time consuming. The funny thing is, actually, once I get the shape and I have the dreadlocks made, it doesn't take that long to put it together. I see. But it's getting the right shape.
I can imagine. And it's also different shapes. It's not very easy, you know, because it's not like a geometric equal, you know, like a symmetrical, because that's how creatures are. So this is amazing. I'm going to show this once more. And
so I'm measuring from the eye to the tip of the nose to try and get it all, you know, correct. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So it's fun. I can tell you it's fun.
You know, I know exactly, because you see the joy on your face, and you know, you said 50 hours, and I'm sure it was like 50 hours filled with so much happiness for you while you were creating that. I can see that on your face. So it's like, it's beautiful. That's why the creations are so fantastic. So I think
it's really about flow. You know how they say you get in flow when you're doing something you love. It's the hours just pass, and my husband's like, "There's no dinner." He thinks, "What are you making?" He knows straight away I'm into something.
That's fantastic.
Because everything's gone.
As it should. Yeah. When a master's at work, everything needs to stop. So Dianne, what can we expect you in the future with? This is such an exciting line that you've chosen. Any ideas of what you would like to expand into, or do you want to kind of build on this collection?
Well, I've got a social work background actually, so I really love kind of working with people who are disadvantaged in the community. So recently, art gallery in Melbourne contacted me, and I was talking to the lady there, and I'll just show you what I'm sending down to this gallery, which is what you can expect more from me in the future.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Oh, yes.
Yes, so that's a little homeless dog person. Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a little shopping trolley there. And so what I'm trying to do there is connect homeless dogs and homeless people, and to say, why do homeless dogs get beautiful forever homes, but homeless people don't always end up with beautiful forever homes where they're pampered and everything. So it's just anyway, that's going down to a art gallery in Melbourne, which got me thinking more about that whole connection of art and getting people to think about disadvantaged people more in our community, and just strike that how can we help, and that's interesting thought about that. Yeah, so that's where I'm headed. Is I hope that my work can inspire people to think more about, you know, disadvantage in community, basically. Yeah.
What a beautiful thought, Dianne, because it's you know, especially this year when everyone's going through such a tough time in their own way because of the pandemic, which has struck at the heart of the entire world. You know, I feel like everyone has now kind of consciously, you can't help but think about people who are less privileged than what you are. And this is such a beautiful way to kind of kickstart something that through your art, you can benefit that community. And also you have the academic background. So that's such a beautiful marriage of your academic background and your creative talent
Yes.
towards, the greater good. So that's amazing. We wish you all the very best.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and I want everyone watching to know that these beautiful, adorable creatures are going to be on our platform, exclusively showcased under the limited edition collection. We will also be posting this webcast on our YouTube channel, and also you'll be seeing a lot of updates on our Instagram. Please follow us at let's_curate. And Dianne, we hope to work with you a lot more in the future. We're so excited to have you as a partner, and we wish you the very, very best for the future.
Yes, I'm just thinking about all the things that I can make just for Let's Curate.
That's fantastic. That's the way to be. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day.